Number one in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
Visit your local Kubota dealer, Kubota of Chattanooga, 2628 Rossville Boulevard in Chattanooga.
Okay, we're going to keep you safe this morning and have a good time while we do it, we certainly hope. But our good friends Mark Warren, John Mark Griffin are here from Warren and Griffin, and I'm jumping right in because there's kind of a lot to talk about. I'm not going to give you a big preamble lead in.
Yes.
Because y'all want to focus a little bit on not just pedestrian safety, but just any kind of foot traffic safety in town, because we're getting more and more populated.
Yes.
And downtown is getting more and more crowded, and sadly we're seeing some results of that.
Well, pedestrian injuries are on the uptick, just not in Chattanooga or Tennessee, but nationwide. It is, the pedestrian fatalities are increasing more so than any other traffic fatality.
Is it primarily because the pedestrians themselves are distracted pedestrians?
Oh, well, I think that's part of it. It's hard to really track that, but part of it is also, not crossing at the crosswalk.
Yeah, or being on your phone.
Yes, being distracted on your phone, not being aware of your surroundings, walking on an interstate late at night, that's not a good idea.
Right.
So, we have to be smart as pedestrians to be aware, not to be distracted, and cross at the corners.
As we encourage, pedestrian traffic in the cities across the U.S., encourage biking, encourage all these things, we have to recognize that there is going to be additional pedestrian traffic than what we experienced 20 years ago.
Right.
And a lot of our cities have been designed around for traffic and cars to be the primary instrument that travels in these cities, and we have to recognize at some point we have to start designing our roadways and cities and intersections around pedestrians. So there's things that both can do. There's things that both the drivers and pedestrians should both do to make it safer for pedestrians.
Do you know statistics here, but are most of the pedestrian accidents, are they occurring when people are trying to cross a street?
Yes. They're occurring when people are trying to move.
Because I'm from Atlanta.
A vehicle is not yielding the right of way to the pedestrian,
right? And
the pedestrian is not aware of the vehicles around them.
Because I'm from Atlanta, and there are some parts of Atlanta where they have, and like San Antonio has this, lots of places where they have the bridges that go over the road, and that way you just get off of it and you go up above.
Well, that's a very expensive. That's part of the design process, though. I mean, if you're going to start from scratch, that's what you would start from scratch with a progressive city. What we have right now in Chattanooga, I believe, is we need to work with what we already have. We already have some sidewalks, but they can be improved. They could be, instead of the curb being 2 inches, they could be 6 inches. They can be wider, to allow for more pedestrian traffic, especially in North Chattanooga. The sidewalks down there need to be upgraded, wider
how would you
and
do
higher.
That? How would you make them wider? Because you'd be cutting into like Fraser Avenue.
But we have terrific traffic engineering in the city of Chattanooga, for example.
That's above my pay grade. It's not above the pay grade of Van Winkle, though. I mean, Van Winkle has been, he's been there forever. Ever since we moved to Chattanooga in '89, Van Winkle has been there with the traffic engineering department. He's brilliant.
He's a plethora of knowledge of how to design,
Let him loose.
Traffic intersections.
Let him loose because we have to pump the brakes now. I mean, we got to pump the brakes. There's something on the agenda for City Council coming up where they're going to contemplate allowing rollerblades and skateboards on sidewalks.
A question: when the City Council chooses to discuss something,
that's going to be discussed.
If somebody just simply brings it to the attention and say, "I would like to come and discuss this,"
right?
Is the council obligated to at least take it up for discussion?
No, I think they're obligated to listen.
So just because they're going to listen, that's not an indicator that they think it's a good idea.
They have to pass an ordinance because right now it is illegal to rollerblade and skateboard on a sidewalk. Now, I sound like an old man when I say this, but
you are
I'm an old man. What are rollerblades doing on sidewalks?
Well, can you imagine?
Especially for this time of this, the timing's terrible for this. We're trying to prevent pedestrian deaths, and all of a sudden we're adding rollerblades to the mix.
Julie, there may be areas that rollerblades may be perfectly safe to utilize, or people travel, up and down. If the sidewalks are extremely wide, like the Riverwalk, maybe that's a place where it may be safer. But all you have to do is walk down Fraser Avenue with somebody walking towards you with a group of people and see how many how each side forms a single line they get in single file to pass each other because the sidewalk is so narrow. There's signs. So if you add rollerblades and skateboards to something like that, it just creates a dangerous situation.
I was in Nashville.
And scooters. I mean, today we have electric scooters. Today you can rent an electric scooter in the city of Chattanooga. And those are off the sidewalks, but they're in bike lanes, which might be good for the scooter safety. But as far as a driver, driving down the road, a scooter is not as visible as a bike is.
Yeah.
So drivers need to be cognizant of the fact that there are scooters, but if there's designated areas, it's going to be easier for a driver to maintain safety relative to the pedestrian or scooters, and pedestrians and scooters could be safer as they relate to cars.
I
if
mean,
we have a system that we can protect.
I'll throw it out there and then people can write in and say you're crazy, but I think that drivers are more and more stressed out though. I was in Nashville, Meg's in school up there, and I was in Nashville earlier this week with her, and we were driving to this area through Belle Meade, okay?
Yep.
And it's right by Vanderbilt, all the Stony Clover stores, all that are right there. Narrow. It made us both so nervous. But drivers reach a point where they've got to have some rights too.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Absolutely. And sometimes, it's designed to be narrow because you're going to decrease your speed. Okay, speed is the number one killer of pedestrians.
Sure.
Is speed, and so narrow roads.
But you know what happens is you've got the sidewalk, and then a few of these people are, and I'm sometimes one of them, walking too slow in front of me. I zip out to get ahead when I'm the pedestrian. Where do I go?
Well, that's the problem. People step in the street to do that.
Right.
So, in areas where you're talking about congestion, speed bumps are a great idea to slow traffic down. Raised crosswalks,
I love raised
which
crosswalks.
create, a speed bump for drivers have to slow down. Those are things that drivers should be doing anyway. Slowing down towards when you get to an intersection, slowing down when you get to sidewalks, all those sorts of crosswalks, all those sorts of things that drivers can do for pedestrian safety. Just like not texting and driving so you're not distracted. And there's other things that can apply to pedestrians as well.
Right.
Utilize a crosswalk, don't text and walk. So some of these rules apply to both.
You're great, man. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Way to be the voice of reason, Mark Griffin.
He's good, man.
You can always find them at Warren and Griffin.
I'm lucky to have him.
He's lucky to have you right
Well,
back.
no doubt about it.
WarrenandGriffin.com, 265-HURT. Don't be like me and get impatient, and don't zip into the road when you're walking the sidewalk, and don't be on your phone and drive or walk. Just put your phone away.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll de-stress you right
there.
there.
You preach, sister. You preach.
Sunday on a Monday.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays, everybody.
I'm BJ, owner of West Shore Home. At West Shore, we want to